In the hopes of some rich, high-end hotels and top establishments, you will easily find stones such as marble being used for flooring, in some cases walls. They represent timeless value and elegance. A few years ago, I bought a large quantity of white Carrara marble to use for a project, and I left them out in the yard till they were ready to be used. As the months and years went by, they appeared dull and didn't look nearly as nice as the porcelain tiles that were now in vogue. I abandoned them under the sun and started buying the more fashionable porcelain tiles for my projects. But it always struck me as odd that anytime I walked into the lobby of any top hotel, I will still see them using marbles. Initially, I assumed that they must have purchased them several years ago and they probably didn't want to start spending money to change them. I, on the other hand, had no qualms about changing the marble I had installed in my own house. But when the man who I had called to take measurements of the floor so he could supply me with porcelain tiles saw the marble on my floor, he was confused as to why I would want to remove the stone. I told him they didn't quite give the look and shine of the porcelain tiles. The amused man said, "Sir, this is precious stone. You have to polish it regularly and it will always look like new. Don't you know that porcelain tiles are an imitation of natural stone? They can never be the real thing," he said. Aha. I proceeded to buy a polishing machine, the different brushes and chemical, and boy oh boy, you should see the shine and mirror effect on the marbles. I learned some very important lessons from this which I want to share today. 1. The fact that I didn't appreciate the value of the marble I had did not mean that it had any less value. It was still a precious stone. It only meant I was ignorant. Don't get angry when people don't appreciate your true worth. It only means they are ignorant. This is rampant in a lot of relationships, marriages, and in organizations. In a lot of cases, you, on the other hand, might not even appreciate your true value. We don't know what God has deposited on our inside, hence, we fail to appreciate our skills, talents, and abilities. You see yourself as worthless, of no consequence, of no talent or abilities, and unfortunately, people end up seeing you through your own eyes. My staff treated my marble as crap because they saw I didn't have any value for it. How many times have your family members and friends disrespected your husband or wife just because of how they see you treat them or what you say about them? What of your country? I have never seen a people who despise their country the way some Nigerians do. It's one thing to complain about your government like people do all over the world, but to take it further and say Nigeria is a nation of criminals and fraudsters. We're even the first to tell foreigners not to trust our fellow Nigerians. They are this and that. Is it any wonder that a certain country banned all Nigerians from coming to their country? Just imagine the boldness it took to ban over 200 million people. People will always call you what you call yourself. Do you know that there are some countries in the world who will readily give visas to anyone from the southeastern part of Nigeria? Stop devaluing yourselves. Number 2, polish your marble. Every precious stone has to be mined, processed, and polished to bring out the real value in them. In their raw state, you can't get their maximum value. You get more value out of anything you process or refine. This is why in Malachi 3 verses 2 to 3 the Bible says, "But who may abide in the day of his coming? And who shall stand when he appeareth? For he is like a refiner's fire and like a fuller's soap. And he shall sit as a refiner and purifier of silver, and he shall purify the sons of Levi, and purge them as gold and silver, that they may offer unto the Lord an offering in righteousness." God refines us through our everyday life's experiences. This is what makes us better human beings. You can't truly comfort someone if you have never known sorrow. You can't really appreciate anything if you have never known lack. You can't truly give if you have never received. Life is God's refinery. If God knows to purify, process, and refine us, who are we not to do the same? Husband, your wife is a gem in the raw. If you want to see her true beauty, polish her like marble. Polishing is a very detailed and time-consuming process, but one thing you can be sure of is at the end, you'll have a much better product. You don't polish from afar. You have to get your hands dirty. Likewise for the wife. Women have to help the men they love to become the men they can love, honor, and respect. Polish your husbands. Polishing is an act of love with a predetermined objective to bring out the best. It's not meant to devalue, put down, or dehumanize. Number 3, polish your talents and skills. Ever heard the phrase, hone your crafts? This phrase is often used to describe someone who has taken the time and effort to refine and perfect their skills or abilities. Put in the time every day. You want to sing? Then sing every day until you become the best. You want to write? Then write every day until you become a great writer. You want to cook? Then cook every day until you can make finger-licking food. Polish your skills. Guess what? When you polish your skills, you attract more value immediately. Kings and queens will be your clients. It's not jazz or miracle oil. It's time and effort in the place of polishing your skills. When your marble starts shining, people will admire it. Folks will come from afar. Men will talk about you. Groups will honor you. But what they don't know is that the shine they see today was part of yesterday's polish. May God continue to polish us all. God bless you.